What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and as you can see by the title below, we're going to talk about how you shut down guys emotionally, like why some guys aren't ready to emotionally connect to you, why they're not doing it, or what you're doing to prevent it. Right now, this isn't just relationships. This is people who you're talking to who don't want to commit or move any further. Now, of course, there's a lot of reason for it, but I want to talk about the emotional aspect of it, not the attraction parts. And to start that off, to start that off below, if you can subscribe right over here, I'd appreciate that. Well, you actually, it's below this camera, so it's down. You gotta dig down in there, right? Right down there, that red button. And also in the description down over here, you can, my crotch, like right down there, woman. But right down here in the description below, you get my free 254-page ebook on men, why they do the things they do. What else is there? How to get them to be your boyfriend and build long-lasting relationships. 254 pages, absolutely free. Free. So, jumping right into this, okay? Let's talk about how both sides, both sexes handle problems, okay? And it's important to know this because if you do not know this, then you're going to go through this dilemma, which is basically arguing, but it's a much more intense arguing. You're going to have a unstoppable force against an immovable object, and it's just going to keep on. Which I realize, by the way, I do this in a lot of videos, right? I do this and I do this in a lot of videos. But it's true. You're going to have those two forces keep on banging at the heads, and nothing's going to get done. It's just going to build up more tension, and you're eventually going to break off, and or the guy is not going to commit. So with that being said, the woman, for the most part, in a feminine energy, the woman, she likes to be more emotional with her healing, how she handles problems, so on and so forth. She likes to talk about it. She might go out with her girls. She might watch a certain show that gets a trigger, certain show, Grey's Anatomy, I don't know what the hell people watch nowadays, or a movie that trigger a certain emotional response. Women like to handle situations. Now, women are analytical, but they like to handle their situations more by delivering or bringing up or surfacing an emotional response. Again, they can talk to somebody. It could be their girls. They can see something that brings a response. They can watch something that brings a response. Women are naturally caring, nurturing, loving, curing, stuff like that, okay? So women are more outwards. Now, men, on the other hand, which you guys probably see this because you see men pull away all the time, which I'm going to make a video on why not to chase a man when he pulls away. But until then, a lot of men pull away. And the reason they do that is because, the masculine energy, at least for me, I'll speak from personal experience and from what I know from a lot of guys, is that we pull away because we're analytical. We're very analytical. I pull away because I'm a problem solver. Men are all about results. They like to pull away, get real analytical with something, they have to retreat to their man cave. And they really do like to think about something from a very I always say it, men are so logical, it's not even funny, but from a very logical perspective, they like to pull away and then come back with a game plan. So you have to understand whatever side you're on, right? Boy, girl, whatever. Or you're probably a lot of women watch this, but I do have 8% of men watching this. So the 8% of men, when you're arguing with a woman or a man or whoever, you have to understand how the other side goes about debates, arguing, confrontations, and so forth. If you don't, then you're just going to bang heads and fight and argue. When you're at your highest self, you don't argue. You will sit down, not even highest self. If you're a basic human being, like, I don't argue with people. I sit down, I'll talk to them about something. There's no reason to argue, and that's how it should be, okay? So, with that being said, why are you pushing men away emotionally? The first thing I would say, you're trying, actually what I just said would be number one. You're trying to get a man in a way to reveal his feelings when that's not how he does it. Now, I only do it personally when I know the woman and she's not offering she's not offering her advice or something like that. She's there to listen. I like to sit there And I like to just kind of go over, like I'm telling her as if she was like, if I'm spitting something out, to her, and it's just kind of helping me, right? I love that. If a woman could just sit there and I'm like, okay, I'm like, like I write a lot. So if a woman's sitting there and I'm thinking like, okay, I got this, just talking, I'm talking to myself and she's listening, that's amazing. But if you're someone who's like, why don't you talk to me? Why don't you open up? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Which again, a guy should open up to a woman, but not at the speed and frequency and just the quantity that you want. If you think he's going to sit there and spill his guts when he's in that masculine energy, that's not going to happen. That's going to turn a guy off. That's a red flag. It's going to show neediness and clinginess on your side in some way. It always does. I found out. And he's going to pull away. Okay, so don't expect him on a large degree to regurgitate, spit up his feelings like women do. Men like to pull away and then come back with a game plan. The second thing I would say is you judge him, you criticize him for something. Small story here, and I think I said it before. I remember when I was living in Illinois, right before I moved, I was dating this girl, and I just got off doing something, I don't remember what it was, and she wanted pizza and a movie. So I said, okay, chill, you sit there, relax in your fucking bed, queen bee, and I'll go get that shit. I come home, I have a nice big old warm pizza, and I have a DVD. I give her a DVD. She flips the fucking shit for what I got. I'm like, what the hell? Like, what? That's not how you handle it. I was actually mad at her, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to get a DVD anymore. You're welcome for the pizza. You can go get your own damn DVD. Just the way she flipped. Now, if you don't like it, there's better ways of handling. I would say, something like, we can watch this because you like it, but let's go back together and get another DVD that I will enjoy in a very fun, playful manner. She was like pissed about it. And the reason this doesn't work for men when you criticize or judge them is because, as I said in other videos, men satisfy and provide for women. We closely relate our egos, our self-esteem, our self-worth, sadly, to how well we provide and satisfy women. And if something as stupid and simple as that, guys are like, if, when a woman turns it down, it's just like, really? Or when you go out to, even if you go out to the movies or you go out to a restaurant and you talk about how shitty the food is or how shitty the movie is, the guy's going to feel bad. He doesn't say anything because of what I said. Point number one, he doesn't just express his feelings. But for the most part, he feels like shit. He's like, okay, I let her down. She's coming to me. She's giving me the offer of or the chance to satisfy her, to provide for her. She's looking at me for fun, and I can't give it to her. So, please, 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 please don't criticize and judge men too harshly. The other thing, number three, you're both not in your proper energies. I say this all the time. We're going to use the analogy of a dance. If you're both in your masculine energy, your dance is going to look real jerky. You're both going to be real tensed. You're both going to be fighting for a lead, so on and so forth. If you're both feminine, you're going to both be looking for a lead. You're going to be slow and sloppy and all over the place. You're not going to know where to go, and you're not going to have structure. Not saying feminine energy is lack of structure. You need both. I would say feminine energy is probably stronger than the male or the masculine energy, but you know what I mean. However, if you have a feminine energy and you have a masculine energy, you flow. You complement each other. You look good together. If you are both in a masculine energy, you're going to do nothing but argue, bitch, and complain. And again, you're going to have a lot of tension. You're going to have a lot of just arguments, just a lot of hate. I don't want to say hate, but just like animosity. You're going to walk in HLs and something's going to explode, okay? And when a man feels or sees a woman, her masculine, and he's trying to overpower her, or she's trying to overpower him, sorry. He's like, no, I don't want anything to do with that shit. Nice fucking try. Peace, okay? So you need to be in your right, proper energies. And finally, the last thing, I would say you shut down his advice. Now, I'm not saying you have to take his advice, but don't be like, that's stupid, or why would I do that, right? Now, of course, a guy shouldn't give advice unless he's asked for it. I agree with that 110%. But you have to know why a guy does it. And again, I would not take his fucking advice. Men are fucking stupid, okay? I would not take his advice either if it's if it's not asked for. But the reason he does it, as I said before, or I said in earlier in this video, he has to be a provider. He has to satisfy. He feels like his way is the fucking right way. You know what I'm talking about. But that's just how men are. He feels his way is the right fucking way, and this is what you should do. Because again, men are logical. Men are always backing up, and they're going into their man caves, and they're doing some, like, fucking brainiac shit, and then writing things down and coming up with a systematic approach to something, and then come back. So men are very logical, and he looks at it as, why don't you just do this, 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 this? But you're looking at it from a moral standpoint. You're looking out for yourself. You're looking out for your emotional, support and things like that. And men might not see that. But don't be like, why the fuck are you saying that? Or why would you say that? Why, that's stupid. Why would you even give me that idea? Don't turn it down like that, because he's going to feel like a piece of shit. Again, he closely relates his ego to how well he satisfies you, and to how well of a provider he is. So with that being said, I love you ladies. Take care. Subscribe if you can. Love you. Peace.